Hello and welcome to Kez Storytelling. This is such a fabulous little book, The Gift of Story. It's a wise tale about what is enough. Now, I've already read 2 chapters to you and left them on YouTube and on here for you to enjoy, plus on LinkedIn. And I hope you are enjoying them. It is a story about what is enough, but it's from the 18th century. Now, yesterday I left off when the 2 young people were trying to figure out how to give each other a gift. Because they are so poor after so many armies have walked through their land and destroyed many things, all they have is each other. Plus, the story continues. So it was that the beautiful young woman and the handsome man lived. They lived frugally. Though they had lost much in the war, they still had 2 fine possessions. He had managed to hold on to his grandfather's pocket watch and would gleefully tell anyone the time who stopped and asked for the time. And she, though ill-fed for months, still had beautiful long hair, which when she let it down, touched the ground all around her, covering her like the finest robe of sable. And so, rich in these simple ways, the young couple proceeded with their lives, eking pennies by selling a small turnip or a winter apple here and there. Oil and rag candles now decorated many windowsills throughout the town. The dark came earlier and stayed longer, and the snow, the winter snow, flew thick and fast. The young woman wanted so much to give her beautiful husband a gift for the holiday, a bright, big, beautiful gift. However, when she searched her pockets, she only found a few pennies. And as she considered her plight without even the smallest amount of self-pity, she could not help but silently weep. She realized that tears would not help if a gift for her loved one was still to be found. So she dried her cheeks and plotted a plan. Then she pulled on an old worn overcoat and 2 pairs of gloves, each with different fingers in them missing. Out the door and down the muddy street she ran, past all the little shops with not so much in their windows this year. Now nothing else mattered for her in her mind but this gift. A special gift for her husband, who had worked so hard and toiled for so long to bring home what little he could. Past piles of rubble, past stairs with no houses behind them, and down a narrow alley she ran, and then into a drab building. She ran up 3 flights of stairs. By then she was breathless, but with barely strength enough to knock on the door. Madame Sophie answered, wearing a miserable, moth-eaten little mink around her throat. Her hair was orange and stuck out all over her head. Her eyebrows were sooty scrub brushes. Surely she was the oddest looking woman in the village who had ever walked the face of the earth. And she was, before the war, made fine wigs for gentlemen and women, and was now reduced to living in a very small room with no heat. Madame Sophie's eyes glistened. Have you come to sell your hair? She and the young woman bickered back and forth until last a deal was struck. The young woman sat down in the wooden chair, and Madame Sophie lifted one of that woman's beautiful heavy tresses to the light. It shone like silken floss, with shears the size, it seemed, of great black iron claws. Madame Sophie went snap, cut the young woman's glorious locks right off in 3 great snaps. The lovely shanks of hair fell to the floor, and the young woman's sparkling tears also fell. With Madame Sophie gathered the shorn hair together as if she were a greedy rodent. Here's your money, the old woman barked. She dropped some coins into the young woman's hand and pushed her out of the door, slamming the door in her face. And that was that. Despite suffering such an ordeal, The young woman was guided by her inner vision, and her eyes lit with enthusiasm once again. She rushed down the street to find a man who was selling watch chains made of lead and covered in silvery tin, but assuredly looking finer than the simple string that was attached to her husband's watch. She gave the money to him. She paid several pennies she had before, and those she had earned from selling her beautiful hair, and with the grimy hands he handed her a watch chain. And I will leave it there, folks. I can't wait to read you the rest because it's a beautiful story. And I will talk to you tomorrow with more from the story, The Gift of Story, a wise tale about what is enough. And that is it from me. Bye.